Alright, so, let's see. I think there are a few things that we may want to do short term before we head on over to do the Ugly Baby quest, which there are some well-named quests in this game. This is not one of them. Or I suppose in some ways you could make the case that this is one of the best named quests, but little hard to take it seriously at the very least. But anyways, I think what we ought to do here is people were telling me that even though Lambert, our old pal, is, according to our quest in Kaer Morhen, apparently he may actually be somewhere entirely different. So if we're going to play him at some Gwent, then supposedly we should at least check the 7 Cats Inn, which is where we did first catch him. Oh, well, we're actually not at a fast travel location right now, so let us do something about that. I mean, we're like right next to one, so surely we can just walk on over there, right? Okay. How many hours do I have in this game? Over 200, I think. It might be like 250 or something along those lines. Somewhere in that general area, at least. Okay, we were going for 7 Cats Inn. So yeah, we've been doing a pretty thorough playthrough. You know, it is blind, so to a certain extent, yeah, I hesitate to say 100% because there are probably things we've missed here and there, just because, you know, I don't know what to do in advance. I'm just playing it by ear. But we're doing as much as we can, basically. So people were saying that apparently Lambert may actually be in here, even though this quest does not say that he is. So I think it's at least worth a quick check here. That's taller. Which I'm surprised to see you here. But apparently we've already chatted with you about all these things.
Farewell.
Yeah, I do. Most of the fucking time, thanks.
Raise money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. That is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That is actually, I would say that of all the charities out there, that is perhaps the one that I have the most personal connection to. So that is a joy to hear. I'm glad to hear that you guys were able to raise money for that. That's awesome. Let's, because it looks like, I mean, unless he's like hanging out here, I don't think we're actually seeing Lambert. Wait, Gerd? That name sounds familiar.
You call this living, Witcher?
Hold on. Didn't we hear tales about Witcher Gerd? Is that a coincidence that this guy is also named Gerd? Or is this actually the same dude? I feel like we did have the briefest conversations with this guy before, but I don't even remember what that was about because it was like one sentence. But anyways, I think it appears as though Lambert is not actually here. We probably do need to track him down in Kaer Morhen in that case, so be it. But there were a few other things that we wanted to do before that, and one of them was, you guys were saying that in this general area, we can find the entrance to, or this is like almost right next door to where we just were, but the entrance to the sewers that we were looking for somewhere around here. Is it this? And then we're looking for a staircase that goes down or something like that, I think people were saying. This may or may not be the correct location. Yeah, down, okay, well, if this is truthfully going to lead us to the sewers, then I think this is what we're looking for. If not, then we might need to poke around a little bit more, but there is apparently a quest that we missed when we first went through here. And so we'd like to get the chance to check it out now. Yeah, this looks like the sewers. So I think we found our spot. So in that case, we just want to keep our eyes peeled here for... Whoa, and not to mention additional loot. Don't mind if I do. Oh, and a bunch timed out due to the raid spam. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. I apologize if Nightbot was perhaps a little bit over-aggressive when it comes to muting people, or at least timing people out. Nightbot is rather moody, like that. Oh, hold on. This. I think this is what we're looking for. Because this is all red, which means we should be able to knock down this wall with a little force push. And then apparently there's going to be something in here, so let's drop a quick save, just because I don't really know what to expect. Unless this is a place we've already been to. No, this looks new. Do not think we've been here yet.
How heavy is this thing?
Eh? What are you? What are you doing?
Help me! This damn lid won't budge!
Do a coffin raider?
Whoever put it on the sarcophagus was clearly thinking about grave robbers.
You've no idea who I am, have you?
No, can't say I do.
Professor Vermont John, Oxenford University, Faculty of Applied Archaeology.
Okay, sure, so you're a
As
professor, but you're
ancient
still
map would have it,
raiding
there's a
the dead.
priceless elven tome in this sarcophagus, the Durar manuscript. It could shed entirely new light on the Enel and Shay conflict. So, will you help?
No, I'm sick of elves? I suppose so. I mean, sure, there
Let's
are
open it.
moral implications for just cracking open sarcophaguses right and left, but...
Blood are glowing.
Vampire.
Oh,
Probably regenerates here.
what?
Just 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Is it 13:58 yet?
No.
His tone.
Fuck off.
No.
I'm ever running into things like that. Well, come on, open it again.
Why? See an elven manuscript there? Because I sure as hell didn't.
I hadn't the chance to look. Perhaps he enjoys bedtime reading and keeps it under his pillow.
So this is strange. Apparently there's a vampire who's just chilling in here. And this guy says we need to look more closely and perhaps bother the vampire, whereas Geralt's like, come on, dude. There's clearly no manuscript here, and we're just picking a fight with a vampire. But I mean, we leave him alone while we're walking away and get nothing out of this. Let's give it a shot, I guess? I mean, what could
Fine.
possibly
I'll
go
open it again.
wrong, right? Just mess with a vampire.
What the? Again? Do you fucking plan to come knocking once an hour now? Enough!
Maybe? He's coming out. And yeah, in case you were wondering, if he is truly a vampire, he is truly a vampire. Alright, he is a catachan. Confirmed. Let us blame him. Except we don't actually have our sign juice pack. Just wait a second. Then we'll blame him. None of that. Okay, he tried to teleport, but not so fast.
Disturbed him.
Yeah, I mean,
Shame
probably
he didn't leave me to
shouldn't
talk to
have,
him. He might
but
have known something about the manuscript.
Didn't seem all that willing to chat.
no, he definitely didn't.
You may be right. Oh well, thanks. Farewell.
Okay, that was weird on several levels. Apparently, there's not actually anything in here, despite this guy insisting that there was. Also, it really feels like there's still combat music going, so it still feel a little bit on edge, like there's gonna be another vampire just waiting to spring on us. Keeps on happening. Every time we take a few steps forward, it's like, oh, hold on, you're not safe yet. Catachan munition could actually be pretty good. Oh, and Negretto's actually pretty rare crafting material, so we might be able to make some stuff out of that. But I suppose that is what we were looking for. Just do a quick double check, make sure we didn't miss anything, but I think that's it. Music keeps on going. It's okay. Somebody tell the orchestra they can chill now. It's alright. Okay, so I think that was the last thing that we were looking to do in the sewers. So we had just missed that on our previous trip through here. Unless there's, like, additional loot that we missed along the way. But I think for the most part, we're probably fine to just get on out at this stage. Now, this, I do not think is necessarily going to be the way that we came in here. But, you know, there's a way in, there's a way out. go in one way, come out the other. We may or may not be running in circles right now. You know, eventually we'll escape. And eventually we may find additional loot. So you know what? It worked out. In the end, I suppose we'll take it. Actually, a lot of loot at that. So, sure. Then this kind of looks like a way out. Sorta. I swear, these shaped boxes are impossible to loot. Clearly there's something in here. But if I stand here, no. Oh. 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 If I jump on it, will you let me loot it? If I stand next to it, like this, maybe? No? I cannot do that now. Yeah, that is true in more ways than one. Oh, now you're going to tease me with even more of the same shaped loots. What if we force push you? Nah, okay, you know, maybe we can live without that. And I'm thinking this is probably the way out. Probably. This looks like civilization. Yeah, I absolutely did not even remember that this was an entrance to the sewers. Where are we in town right now? We are, I mean, kind of right in the middle. But okay, so that's what we were looking to do in the sewers. We were thinking about paying a visit to Lambert, but he is not actually at the Seven Cats Inn. He has already gone to Kaer Morhen, so we'll have to wait a little bit before doing that. The other thing was that there was the location that I've tried to find some hidden treasure in a bazillion times and tried and failed over and over again. It is, let's actually mark it on our quests here. But I think I have the answer. It is the Wolf School Witcher gear, which is hiding somewhere in a chest in this general area. And it just eluded me for the longest time, but I'm telling you, once we get to fast travel spots so we can actually travel there, we are gonna find this thing, and then we'll head over to Kaer Morhen. So let's go. This looks like the fastest, or the closest fast travel spot. So let's hop over there.
It's a rag.
Double chased.
And how are we doing on inventory stuff? Do we have any stuff that we'd like to dump? A little bit of random junk here that we could potentially dump. It's not urgent because we have a fair bit of inventory space remaining here. Any like animal furs and a tiny bit, not a lot. Actually, take that back. We have 16 bear hides, which is actually getting kind of heavy, and 10 horse hides. So yeah, we could potentially take a moment here to sell some stuff to people. Someone here does sell. I think that you sell horrendous things.
Gentleman is not one to let a bargain pass.
As for whether you'll actually buy things from us at a decent price,
Fine.
that
Show me what
remains
you
to be
got.
seen.
So what don't I got? Something for everyone.
But what don't I got?
Cheap too.
Like, this guy sells the junkiest of junk. I'm pretty sure these weapons that he has right now are only here because we sold them to him in the past. What is this, though? Oh, it's like figurine. We might have sold you these once upon a time as well. So what I'm thinking is, let's just quickly dump some of the low-level weapons and gloves, and then just like bear fur and whatnot, because that stuff does take up some inventory space. And we are going to head over to double check. Oh, that's actually the same kind of saddlebags that we have right now, so that's a decent saddle. But oh, and well, the other thing is that this guy is kind of broke, so we are not exactly going to be able to just sell everything to you, unfortunately. Be able to sell some of our hides here, but okay, that gets us a little bit lower on the weight that we're carrying right now, but there is at least one other trader I thought that was pretty close by.
Same as it gets right here.
So we might try to dump the rest on... Who is it? Is it... Ooh. Or someone in this building here, however we actually get in there? Not entirely sure. Here we go. Oh, the loan shark.
Hello there.
Not sure if we can
Probably
actually
not buying.
sell things to you. Or if you're
Show me what you have. in
different
stock.
and only give out loans. Oh, hold on. Hold on. This book as a quest. Change your life, a handbook. Why not? Let's buy it. All right. Then can we can, I believe, at least sell you some stuff here. So let's dump all of our various hides here just to offload some of the weight, make it so that when we do ultimately end up going to Karamorn, we don't need to be terribly concerned about are we gonna run out of inventory space or anything like that. And that means just sell this saddlebag, and then we should be good. Because I think everything else is probably stuff that we want to continue to hold on to. Like our swords that we like. Oh, and probably sell this. I mean, it's a silver sword, which is potentially decent to break down into components, but I think we'll be fine. Except you just barely can't afford that. Okay, we'll live with it.
So long.
Okay, now we did pick up that book, and that book had an exclamation point on it, which does typically mean that it is tied to a quest. So by reading it, we should be able to learn about a quest that we did not previously know about, at least in theory. And this was it. Let's see. And so I, Jacob the Rebel, once well known as a libertine and brawler extraordinaire from Nazaire, with its myriad taverns to the wilds of Zeracania, used what strength I had left to pull my craft ashore. Raft I had strapped together out of an old boot, bits of strap, and a burst barrel had taken on so much water that 2 ells more might have sunk to the bottom. Instead, I stood on dry land, and that was all that mattered. With not a living soul in sight, and my stomach growling something mighty, I began to explore. The isle was bereft of game, but offered fruit in great abundance. I ate so heartily, the juice nearly poured out my ears. And then I began to gather wood with which to build my shelter for the night and fuel the fire that would warm me. It was then I came upon the strange plant that would change my life till the end of my days. Uh-oh. This has taken a bit of a turn. Ignorant of its value at the time, I frivolously used it for kindling. Yet as soon as it began to smolder and its sweet scent filled my nostrils, I felt light and the coastal breeze whisked all my troubles away. I devoted the subsequent years of my life to researching this miraculous weed and its properties. Pun intended. As a result, I was able to develop a method that is likely to transform the life of any who puts it into practice. Here is how to begin. Okay. Didn't see any quest updates there. I didn't think, although we did get a sound effect when we bought the book initially that did perhaps suggest that we got something. Anything here that seems new? Don't think so. I think this is all stuff we already had. So not entirely sure what to make of that. But let's head on over to the fast travel spot. We'll go to that place where we're expecting to find the Witcher School diagram. And then, assuming we can find it, we will head on over to Karamorn. The other thing is that I remember some kind of big nasty enemy that was flying around on this major pathway here that at the time when we first came across it, we were way too weak to fight it. However, it's been a while now, and we may now be able to take it on. I don't remember what level it was, but I just remember that at the time it was totally out of the question. But we might double back for that. 'Cause I'm curious. I think it was at least a somewhat rare type of enemy. So it might be kind of fun to track it down. But first things first, let's find this stinking manuscript. I actually don't know how many times I've searched for it. It's a lot. But it's over here somewhere. And I suspect that it may, in fact, be in one of the, let's see. One of the, like, well-type things over here. Where are you? Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Like, if I could just find one. like this. He's a wraith that has now taken interest in us. But I think my guess is that it is in one of those wells like that. There it is. Found it! Because we searched high and low, and I mean quite literally high and low in this place, and we could not find that thing. I think the only explanation would have been that it was hiding in some place where it was hidden from sight. So, very grateful to have finally tracked that down. But now, especially since we did that so quickly, why don't we try to take a look here at what we can do in terms of tracking down that big monster. I think it was either a griffin or maybe some kind of draconid. Let's just mark something on our map in that general area. I think it's somewhere around here-ish. Maybe even a little bit higher up toward this fast travel spot. Could potentially even justify fast travel in there, although I think, why don't we just ride our way over there on Roach, and don't really know how far up this pathway it is. So I think best to just play a little bit safe in that regard and rely on Roach to track it down. There are some not so great enemies over here of some variety, probably like wolves or something. But we're looking for some big game. We're looking for something that I'm almost certain was flying. And there it is. Let's save just in case this thing is really strong. But this is what we're looking to pick a fight with. Let's also throw on a shield preemptively, perhaps. And maybe shoot a crossbow at you. What level are you? You are a Griffin. Confirmed. 25, which is a pretty good fit for us. We are, what, level 27 right now? Hello. How's it going? Care for some fire? We can also, if we wanted to, throw on an oil to increase our damage on our sword, which, let's see, I always forget. The Griffins are a hybrid, I think, not a Draconid. So we're looking for a hybrid oil, which is where? It is probably going to be the last one we check. Here it is, second to last one we check. All right, so that'll give us 50% increased damage. So that should be very significant, but also you're going to, like, hit us and whatnot. Okay, get over here, Griffin. Down you go. Not so bad. We got lots of damage. Okay. Ultimately, the loot is not terribly impressive, although I do think those Griffin feathers are used for some types of high-level crafting. So that's certainly not a bad pickup. But now I think we are, at least for the time being, just about done with everything in the Velen/Novigrad area. The one exception, or at least the one relatively major exception, being the high-stakes quest, which is the Gwent tournament. However, people were saying that this is, technically speaking, not urgent that we do this. Even if we head over to Kaer Morhen now, we will still have time to come back and do it on a later occasion. So I think we will go for that, because especially since we may or may not have botched our first attempt at this tournament, I'd like to get it right this time. I'd like to, succeed this go round, and if that means we can increase our chances of succeeding a little bit more by, say, going to Kaer Morhen first, picking up a few additional Gwent cards, and getting a better deck before actually competing in the tournament, that feels like that might be the best way to go. So, in that case, Ugly Baby, it is. And where exactly do we need to go for this? Because it is actually over here in Crow's Perch. Okay, so let's see. We are a little bit closer to Byways than we are Duen Hen. So let's head back over to this fast travel spot, and then we'll fast travel to Crow's Perch. And I don't have a great sense of what to expect here. I mean, in theory, we're just telling the Baron Sergeant, hey, we want to take Uma, which is this cursed child man. I mean, I'm not actually sure how old he really is. But I can't imagine it's going to be as straightforward as, hey, we'd like to take this person. Okay, thanks, bye. Something is going to go down, right? It's not going to be that straightforward. I thought I remembered that... Didn't the Baron say that he had to make some kind of trade to acquire Uma? Basically bought him off of somebody? And I think paid a pretty hefty price at that. So, for that reason, yeah, probably not going to take too kindly to trying to... Or for us, trying to take him. That being said, I think this is, yeah, just his sergeant, not actually the Baron himself. Because I think the Baron himself has run off to who knows where. So maybe that increases our likelihood of success here. Not entirely sure, but we'll give it a shot, of course. So, we'll hop on over, and we should probably save. Because this is main quest territory. This is going to be important stuff. Do we have, while we're here, any reason why we'd want to check in with our Master Armorsmith at the moment? I don't think so. We did enough with her recently. I think we've done just about everything we would like to do, other than, say, just do a quick sharpen the weapon and polish up the armor, and we'll head on over. We do also have, there's item storage here, which potentially could be worth throwing a couple things in there. Again, if we're just trying to lighten our load a little bit before we head over to Kaer Morhen. Well, we have the convenience of having a stash here. This might be a good time to throw some things in here. Like, for example, we actually could probably sell a fair bit of stuff that we have. But, at least it's in our stash over to the right there. But anything that we don't particularly need in the short term that we could dump to save some weight. I mean, we did sell a bunch of stuff recently. So, I mean, the only real thing would be we wanted to dump any of our extra swords. This one we don't really want. We should actually sell that at some point, so we'll stash that, I suppose. Then, I think we were deliberately holding on to a few different options in terms of our swords, so that if we wanted to mix and match to the situation, we could. Like, this one has the Ard sign intensity and chance to cause bleeding. This one is sign intensity, even more so, and crit hit damage bonus. And this one is critical hit damage bonus. And we are, for the most part, trying to scale our damage through crits, so those are certainly intriguing. So I think we will hold on to them for now, at least. And hold on, what are... Looking at these gloves, I'm thinking... These look like ones that we could be using. Oh, they're Griffin, whereas we are currently using Feline. So the ones that we are using right now... Oh, wait, no, we're using Griffin. These ones we see here are Feline. So we could gain attack power, but lose sign intensity. Basically, do we want to prioritize the damage with the sword, or do we want to prioritize damage with our magics? And we've mostly been focusing on the sword damage, but this is the kind of thing where it'd be kind of nice to be able to mix and match as we see fit. But I think we are deliberately trying to mix it up a bit, because we were doing that so long, maximizing the sword damage, that let's try. Give it a little bit more time to do the whole sign damage. See if we prefer this over the alternative. But I think the person we're looking for is in here. So, hey! How's it going, Sergeant?
I need to talk
Dude?
to you.
About?
You know, the cursed child that you have that we'd like to kind of sort of steal from you. But we're asking first, so it's not stealing, okay?
Uma, gonna take him with me.
Yeah, that was a terrible way to
Gotta
phrase
ask the
that.
Baron's permission. Thing is, he ain't here.
Not about to ask for anything. I'm telling you. You can try to stop me. But that'd be an error. A mortal one.
That would
Think
be
you
a
got
grave
me
mistake.
shaking in my boots.
You sure as hell should be.
I mean, you are talking to a Witcher.
Fine. Cripple's not worth no blood. See the groom. He ought to be glad to give him up. Bugger's been eating from the feed bags. And a pleasant journey to you both.
Thank you kindly.
So positive. Okay, so we need to tell the person minding the stables we are taking Uma. Sure. Okay. I was certainly at least half expecting for that conversation there to end in a fight, so glad to see that it didn't. Because that could have gotten messy pretty quickly.
Well,
Isn't there
Bring
a
out the
doorway
gate.
out of here?
think the king's
Okay, maybe,
Well,
maybe
guess
not.
you'll just have to go
Also, let's
pick 'em up
not
now,
steal
won't you?
stuff right in front of those guards. That's probably not a great idea. We'll just head out the way we came in. Is what? Through here? Okay. So, to the stables, you say? Right over here? Stable master? Yes. Hello.
I'm taking Uma.
There ain't a...
Geralt.
Sergeant Hartle said I could.
Bring him back, though, won't
You gotta work on the delivery, Geralt.
Be awful dull without him.
Sorry, dude. It's kind of out of our way. See, we're headed all the way up to Kaer Morhen, which is pretty far, so probably not gonna come back here to bring him back anytime soon. Find some other diversion. So basically, both of these responses are saying, no, it's not gonna happen. It's just a matter of how we phrase it. I mean... I'm not sure there's a great answer.
Find something else to laugh at. I don't know. Catch some frogs and shove straws up their asses.
Huh?
Geralt is insisting
One
on
of
being
your Witcher
extremely
games.
snarky.
Witcher version's different. Don't make me show you. Open the door. Now.
I think we found Uma.
Hey, little guy.
Hello. How's it
This
going?
here's Roach. She'll take us to Kaer Morhen.
Probably.
Well, come on.
So it seems like he doesn't speak? Wasn't sure if he would. And maybe. He's just shy. Come on. The rat a good thing or a bad thing? Are you a fan of the rat? I think you're a fan of the rat. Yeah, not actually coming to Geralt. Just chasing the rat.
Quit playing around. Let's go.
Okay. So, Uma acquired. That sounds like something is chasing
Looks
us.
like we got company. Nilfgaardian battle mounts.
Uh-oh. This, yep. Looks like it's about to get complicated.
What do you
Hey,
The
pals.
Emperor's
How's it going?
displeased with you.
Is he now? That is
I'll ask
unfortunate.
somebody else for help.
The Emperor does not ask anyone for anything. You will ride with us to Vitsima.
Oh.
Sure about that?
See, that's kind of in the opposite
Don't
direction, I think.
even try.
Fine. Lead the way.
If you insist. Yeah, couldn't be as straightforward as just take Uma, go to Kaer Morhen, right? Something had to happen in between, and the Emperor is displeased with us. The Emperor is technically our employer, so that is concerning, at least in that respect, and also, you know, the whole part where he's potentially the most powerful person in the world right now.
The Third
That
Army
too.
will sweep in from the west to take Bangli.
If I may, Your Imperial Majesty, our spies report that the garrison at Bangleen consists almost wholly of mercenaries.
Bribery, then,
We stand to lose exactly no men in battle.
and we stand to lose less time. Very well. Give the orders. Then set sail.
I wish I knew where those places
At
were.
once.
Also, where was Yennefer previously? We thought she was going to still be in Skellige, but then we looked for her and she wasn't.
Your Imperial Majesty, Yennefer.
I did not have you brought here for an exchange of courtesies. Report.
Oh man. So we can continue waking up on the wrong side of the bed and be all mean and grumpy and tell them, no, we're not taking orders from you. Or we can actually respond. I mean, it's an inconvenience to have to stop over here when we're looking to go to Kaer Morhen and we're kind of on a tight timetable trying to chase down someone who is being chased. But, I mean, I think it's still reasonable.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
To at least to a certain extent indulge.
Well, this man is the key to finding her.
I give you 3 solid leads. Trails as fresh as morning dew. The aid of my spies and my court sorcerers. Yet in my daughter's stead, you bring me this monstrosity?
So I know it doesn't look good,
I hope you have more to say.
but I swear,
For your sake.
we have a pretty solid
Listen.
lead here.
I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. A needle that at any moment can...
It's a difficult task, I know this. What of it? Listen to me. I rule the largest empire the world has ever known. I wage a war against the North, command men in tens of thousands, while at home the trade corporations and nobles seek to depose me. You cannot expect me to pity you the difficulty of your task.
Alright, we get it. You have difficult tasks to do as well. Yeah, we have some reason to believe, or at least Yennefer was saying that there is a non-zero chance that Uma actually is Ciri, which is kind of a terrifying thought. I personally don't think I subscribe to that belief just yet. I think I need a little bit more evidence before I start to think that's the case, but it's at least a possibility. But we can at least give you a little bit more information.
I pursued those leads you gave me.
This is true.
Ciri first reappeared in Skellige with a mage, an elf. Yen knows more.
The Wild Hunt tracked them down, found them there. They were forced to flee to Velen.
Where they were separated. Ciri spent some time with a local warlord, a self-styled baron
Yes, I know my vassals.
who helped her get to Novigrad, where Ciri crossed some of the city's underworld bosses. She had to flee, went back to Skellige, ran into her elf companion there.
And into the Wild Hunt. Again. Ciri and the elf fled, out to sea this time. Their boat returned to shore the next day, with only him on board.
The information appears of little use, though at least it seems you kept busy.
And this is sort of true. But we have a plan, okay? We have a plan. But yeah, so hey Yen, you wanna break the news to him, or should we? Because see, the thing is, like, there is a slim chance that this might be your daughter.
This monstrosity might well be your daughter. Its body is the product of a curse someone hides inside it.
Can you lift this curse?
I've done a great deal of research, made inquiries, but to lift it I would need to know the words used to cast it, and that...
Vafael Elen, Kedmil Fali. Gladiv Dorn Eptened.
Where did we learn this? I do not remember us learning this.
Dandelion told me.
Oh,
So
Dandelion
we talked to
rescued
him
him.
about it.
At last, you provide a pleasant surprise. Lady Yennefer, my question stands.
Yes. I believe I can. But I must...
The details do not interest me. Geralt, you've achieved precious little, yet admittedly more than the bumblers in my spy corps have. I give you half the promised reward.
That's
You
something,
will
I
see
guess.
the other when you bring me Ciri.
Okay, I suppose. Fair enough. Well, that's 2,000 crowns, though, okay? That's nothing to snuff at. How did I come up with the name Lids? It is IRL, a nickname that I have. So, it was a natural extension. Carry that over, and then Lids, Vids, it rhymes, and it kind of works. It's kind of thematic. So, that's how the name came to be. Let's see. Don't intend to bring her here. Oh, man. Yeah, all this stuff about... I mean, I get it that people perhaps are... Well, that the Emperor is perhaps not the best of father figures for Ciri, and in many ways, us too, Geralt and Yennefer, have become her parents. And so we can kind of try to object to him trying to take her back now and say, nah, if we find her, we're just keeping her for ourselves. Or we can say, yeah, sure, we'll bring her back, whatever. But, I don't, like, we may think this, but I don't think it's a good idea to say to his face. So, I think we just say, so be it.
Fine.
This audience is over. Till the next.
So, we think we have the words. Yen has, in theory, the spellcasting ability. Where did your biting wit go?
Could have used some of that famous biting wit of yours. Where'd it disappear to? I mean, you were meek as a novice at Aretusa called into the dean's office.
I merely know when I can indulge my pride and when I must swallow
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for as well.
Ah, I see. So you show your claws to me because I'm a lowly witcher, but...
Do you really wish to do this now, Geralt? We can
It
fight
does
another
really
time,
feel like
in
Geralt's
another
tone
place.
has changed
The
significantly
walls have no
in
ears.
just the past, or ever since we started this quest. You know, talking to the Baron Sergeant, talking to the stable person, talking to the Emperor, Geralt just insists on being grumpy, which is a little strange. I mean, there are certainly times when he does that, but it's like very, very consistent here, no matter what options I take for the dialogue, which is a little strange. But the curse, how do we lift it? That's the big thing.
So, how do we lift Uma's curse?
We must take him to Kaer Morhen. Oh, and Geralt, forgive me, but I'm unable to teleport you, Uma, and Roach, so...
Don't worry, we'll ride there. Never did like teleporting.
Take care of yourself.
Wait,
That's gross.
here. Probably better if you keep it.
Of course. I'm off.
Okay.
His long search for Ciri led Geralt to conclude that Uma, the ugliest man alive and the victim of a curse, was the key to finding the young woman. Geralt needed to lift the curse, so he took Uma to the home of the world's greatest specialists on dark spells, to the Witcher's fortress of Kaer Morhen.
What? Vesemir? An expert in dark magics? I mean, I suppose in dispelling them.